Okay, so hello from another venue this time. For this one, I'm going to try and describe a little bit how I got let's call it a reaffirmation that I'm actually a very, very big fat introvert. Um, Yesterday we had some sort of a family gathering. Uh, and it was very, very busy. There were a lot of children, which I don't mind. Two of them are mine. I was not. It's not like I wasn't interacting with people. I was. I'm not really quite sure if you would call it social, because I was mainly interacting with things or situations instead of really talking to people. I mean, hey, hi, how are you doing? No, no, no. Not that I don't mind. Not that I don't like my family. And because I've seen a lot on the perk forums, there are a lot of people that I don't know seem to kind of despise is maybe too strong of a word, but generally don't really like family gatherings. I don't mind. I actually am pretty close with my family. Close being we know what's happening in each other's lives, not we see each other every week or something like that. My sister and I, we see each other regularly. So I think it's maybe different if, for example, you live in the United States or Canada, somewhere big, instead of Belgium, where at most somebody is like 2 hours and a half max away, depending on how slow you drive, which for me would be very slow. Were it not that I don't drive, because I don't have a license and I don't really care about it, but I'm digressing, as usual. So, what made me reaffirm my position as an introvert? Because actually I was doubting it a couple of somethings ago. It was all fine and dandy. We were having fun, and there was a bit of stress because the kids were playing very rough, and as a parent, you know this. When you have this much children screaming and playing and kicking and acting very wildly, some of them, or at least one of them, is going to get hurt, and you're just praying, hoping it's not too bad and it's not your child. Sounds bad, I know, but actually this time it was my child. He had his arm here, this piece slammed in the I don't know how you call it. It's a door that you sliding doors. Woohoo! So yeah, and he's 2.5 years old. So I was kind of afraid that it might be broken because it's a very heavy door. But okay, so that was a very stressful moment for me. I snapped a bit at the children. Whoa, what's wrong with you? So that drained a lot of energy, and I think a bit after the incident, a cousin of mine, she comes to me and she asks, "Hey, Katrien, I don't even remember the question. That's how fried I was. Hey, Katrien, can you tell me what you think about that?" And I think I asked her to repeat the question 3 times. I heard the words, but my brain was fried. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but that was just it. I mean, my brain was fried. I understood the words she was telling me, but I couldn't form a coherent thought, even if my life depended on it. I was standing there. Sorry, what? Sorry? And I thought, okay, this must be all the stress. I helped cleaning and all of that to enlighten the burden from my mother, who was actually hosting the party. And for me it was okay, so maybe we'll have to go home a bit early because I'm mentally, not physically, I was okay physically, but mentally I was fried. It was no longer possible for me to have some sort of a coherent conversation. It was poof out of the window. Then luckily, well, we decided to go to the kermis. it's like the carnival, but it's just the rides, just the attractions, and very tiny, only the small attractions and Luna parks and stuff like that. I don't know if you have that kind of tradition over there. Um, and then it was a bit better because it was only me and my fiance. The kids were still there playing, and it helped a bit. But then we came back, and okay, there were a bit less people, so it was better. But I was still mentally I was still mentally tired, basically. And then my brother asked me to no, okay, so my brother told me he had a new PC and it wasn't booting and working as fast as he thought it should, because it had so much better. This is not proper English. I'm very sorry. I just came from work, so deal with it. um, because his new PC wasn't really working as fluidly as he had hoped, which I interpreted as, hey, please fix this, have a look at this, which of course I grabbed. Of course, this not meaning at every family gathering you have to go and annoy the person that is responsible for the IT in your family. I know we don't really are responsible, but apparently it always seems to go that way. For me, it's like that because it's sort of an escape, because I was still there with all these people, but I just grabbed it with my two hands. Okay, I'm doing something useful, I'm helping you, but actually, in the meantime, I'm just helping myself, because you had my aunt next to me, and she was asking, I didn't know you could do it like that, and I'm explaining, but at that moment, I'm in thinker mode, introvert mode. I'm doing, it's possible I'm conversing, but it's basically all automatic pilot. I'm just occupied with what I'm doing, with my job, my task, and all the rest. It's just I hear most of it. I hear all the conversations, but they're less intrusive to me, because my mind is focused on a specific thing, and I can zone in as deeply and zone out as far as I want to. I'm not quite sure if I'm explaining it properly, but that's how it feels for me. Well, basically, to make a long story short, as if after I was done tinkering around on his computer, making it a lot faster, so telling him that good specs are not good specs as long as there is no SSD inside. It's still a terribly slow 5400 RPM drive. What? But I noticed the difference in me was amazing. I mean, it was really strong. How I went into the come here, let me fix that for you, and how I came out of it, because it's like I took a nap. I mean, for real. I felt energized. I no longer had the, even though this is not something that took very long. I think I spent plus minus an hour, small hour on it. In the meantime, still semi-socializing. No, it's not true. Let's not call it socializing. It's not really socializing. It's more like hearing something in the periphery and then replying to it. I never said that. That's not true. What? How much? Something like that. But the difference was very visible, not only to me, but also, for example, my niece, whom I was talking to before about. She follows a biochemistry, so also basically what the brain does and all that neurochemistry. I don't know how it's called. And we were talking about that, and also about things like social anxiety and shyness and impact on feeling awkward with people and social situations, all of that. And even and she came to me, oh, you look, it appears to be going better. And at first I didn't really I just knew I felt better, but I hadn't really thought about why I felt better, and it all came down to this single experience. Basically, just let me. And then I thought about in the past when I'm at friends on afters or something like that, and we're having a gathering. I often wind up fixing people's PCs. For example, it's sort of my go-to move. If I don't have my book or I don't feel like reading, it's my go-to move. Hey, your PC, there are too much toolbars on here. Let me fix that for you. And I think it's maybe just a coping mechanism. Either way, I don't know what it does, how it works, but I know it helps. So it's safe to state for me anyhow that the socializing itself is not something that gives me energy, even though in this particular case it had nothing to do with shyness or anxiety, because I mean it can happen with people, you know, but in this case that wasn't the case. I mean, I don't feel anxious a little bit, but yeah, people um, around my family, but it was really, it was just that. It's not that it was small talk all the time, because a lot of my family is also a bit like me, so they not that strongly, but they're also a bit like me in the sense that they like genuine conversations with I don't know, topics, and not just some chitter chatter about have you heard this one did that, and ugh. So it was very visible to me and to them, and so yeah, that's how I reaffirmed firmly my status as being an introvert. So yay, something less to doubt.